Hello everybody, how are you? Yay, hopefully this is working. Let me check. Hello, it's Finnabair here. Okay, I can see myself, that's a good sign. Hi everybody, how are you? Welcome to my studio and join me on this little scrapbooking project we are going to do together. I don't really use that much of the traditional scrapbooking techniques in my projects, but hopefully there will be some cool things to do, and I really want to capture this atmosphere of playfulness and celebration. So I think I have a perfect image for that today, and I'm planning to work on the old canvas panel I found, which is just perfect to use as a background in combination with the scrapbooking paper. So I can see people are joining. Hello everybody, it's good to see you. If you can just write, just in case, if you can hear me and see me properly, because sometimes the technical side of it is not so great. I believe we have Natalie here as Prima Marketing. And I can see a lot of people joining. You can share that with your friends now so they can join as well. So hit the share button, let people know, and we will be all together in about 2 minutes. We're going to start. Yes, that's Natalie. Hello. Yes, I've seen we've got people from Sweden, from United States, from Scotland, and we've got nice crowd gathering. We have 25 people already, which is good. Yes, Tennessee, USA. National Scrapbooking Day. NSD is National Scrapbooking Day. Yes, Sweden. Hello, I'm in Ireland. I'm Polish though, so that's why you can hear my funny accent. Hello everybody, and I was trying to get ready for this day, but unfortunately I realized that I don't really have any new scrapbooking paper collections, because I just don't use that much paper and I still have plenty. But I found one that is going to be quite perfect for this cheerful mood, and this is Prima from probably 2 years ago, Apricot Honey. So this is going to be my background paper, just in the case if you are wondering. This is a nice pad in the color palette, which is mostly coral pink with a bit of teal, and there is brown color, and there is a little bit of black as well. But I wouldn't really feel too attached to what is on the images, because I was only looking for the background paper. Hello everybody. So let's work a little bit, and as I mentioned before, because I'm going to work mostly in mixed media style, that means there will be quite a lot of wet techniques. So it's a good idea to have really thick paper, or whatever I do, if I want to work on the 30 by 30 centimeters, I stick that paper, the whole paper, on the piece of chipboard or cardboard first, so this is more sturdy. Or I use canvas panel. This, as you can see, this panel was well used. It was broken for some reason. This is going to be a perfect background to stick my paper onto that. So this is one of the tricks you can use if you want to make a mixed media project. So maybe let's start, because the first steps are not too entertaining. I'm going to stick the paper on the canvas, but in the meantime we'll have a moment for everybody to join. Okay, is that a plan? Let's hope so. I'm going to switch the camera view to the table. Okay, trying to center as much as possible. That should be okay. So first of all, we need to stick the paper on the canvas. The canvas is dirty, but it doesn't matter. I picked the paper that looks just like old peeling wool, and I really like that, so we're going to work with this as a start. It has a bit of the pink color in it, which is quite cute, and that is going to be good inspiration for the color palette. So now I need to glue it down and I need to cut the excess off. So this paper is one of the many in the paper pad from Apricot Honey collection. You may still find it somewhere on the market. And I'm going to use a very simple product for gluing, which is my soft matte gel, very sticky gel medium. Hello everybody. As you can see, it's very good glue. It's very sticky. So I think this more grungy side or this more elegant side. Let's go with more elegant side because I'm going to put a lot of splatters on it anyway. So first of all, I put a good coat of the gel medium on the top, especially in the corners. I'm going to stick my paper on the top of that. I'm very lazy, so I'm not measuring anything. I'm just cutting as it goes. This is step number 1. You can see on the other side of the paper, on the other side of the paper there are very cute elements to cut, but this is not a plan for today. Today we are going to use the background paper. Wonderful. A bit of massage, so this is going to stay in the right position. And I need to cut it. This is all covered in metallic flakes that got completely stuck, so I need to fight with that a little bit later. I was working on the project with the Moscow set. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to make the edges grungy anyway. Hello Martina, good to see you, girl. Maybe we will use it for something a little bit later. Who knows? Perfect. Now, to make it look a little bit more natural, this is one of the old Prima tools, but I'm afraid they are not produced anymore. So this is like a relic I'm using now, but I still like it. Okay, this way the paper is also sealing a little bit better with the background. Now, a bit of baby wipes. clean my space after that. It's not going to help that much, but I feel better that I cleaned. And now, to make this paper a little bit more resisting, it's a good idea to put a coat of the clear gesso, which is going to stop everything from getting soaked into the paper, and it's going to stay in the same color. So this is again very good trick if you're planning to do some of the mixed media projects and you want to work on the paper background. One coat is going to be enough. And as you can see, clear gesso from Art Basic collection is going to be quite smooth and easy to spread with the brush, and it's going to turn completely invisible. It's matte after drying and it's like a sealer. So this is going to stop all of the art mediums and paints from soaking in. I'm supposed to make something small, so I will try my best. We'll see what happens. Hello. Oh, we have 47 people already. Nice to see you guys. Closing that and drying with the heat gun. If you have any questions, let me know. Cześć Kasiu, dobrze Cię widzieć. So now we need to dry that, and in the meantime I can work on the image I want to use. I was looking through my postcards and I was looking for something in the topic of the celebration. I found the postcards. They're lovely vintage ones, and after that I was thinking like, this girl is just perfect for the celebration of the National Scrapbooking Day. So we have the image we can use. The girls dancing maybe for the next time. Now, I need to make it a little bit more sturdy. So I'm going to use some cardboard in the background. Maybe a little bit too small. In the meantime, my gesso is drying, so we are multitasking here. Same story, we're just going to stick and cut. Not too much perfection. Yeah, I think she's super cute. Look at her face. Here we go. I'm not sure if you can see that, but in the background of the postcard, there are some glittery circles. And I was thinking this is great inspiration for my background as well. And now I have to decide which one is top and which one is bottom. But let's say this is going to go like this. We're going to work with the happy girl, and there will be a lot of celebrating and just the positive vibes. So very, very colorful pastel way. And I would love to add a little bit of this pattern we have here. So you can use the inspiration that comes from the scrapbooking elements color-wise or design-wise. And the design, I have perfect stencil for this. This is one of my older stencils. Circles and circles. I think this is a great option. So to add some extra touches, we can create some feeling of movement, like the circles are going to go from one corner to another, for example. And to find more of the glittery effect, I'm going to take the paste, which is called Pixie effect paste, with a lot of glitter in it. So this is just perfect solution. And as you can see, there are different sizes of the glitter in there, so we can play with that. We don't have to make it perfect, of course, just playing with the concept of adding a bit of glittery circles. You know, party, celebration. Let's see how this is going to work. Not perfect. I need to be more careful, but it's no problem. We can do it again. Maybe different design, different bubbles. These are too close to each other. But because we have gesso, this is not a problem. We can easily clean that off. Let's change to these bubbles. They are better. More spaces in between. They're not going to be so stuck next to each other. Quick change. Yeah, much better. And smaller bubbles as well. Yeah, exactly. Wrong choice. Cleaning a little bit, and then I can continue a bit more on that side. I'm trying to keep the stencil in one position, so the image is going to be more crisp, but with this paste, it's not really possible to get that super crispy effect because of the big chunks of the glitter. So perfection is overrated. We continue our work of these quite fun glittery effects. So that's a good start. We can dry it. The bubbles look really nice. And then we can start adding elements. Of course, in like every mixed media project, it's more important how you're going to finish your project than how you're going to start. So if there are some imperfections, you don't like the way the stencil is applied, it's not really a big deal, because later we are going to paint over that many times. So it's just for the general feeling of the bubbly design, and as you can see, it's getting shiny and really, really nice. And it's not dry yet, but I can start gluing elements down. And because this is scrapbooking, we are supposed to use scraps. So I have scraps of different kinds. I have scraps of chipboard. I've got some tags from the shop. I've got some Prima ephemera, I think from this collection, but I may be wrong. It looks very similar though, so all these elements seem to be just perfect. Hello everybody, good to see you. More of the tags. I've got some old tape, and I've got some lace flowers, more scraps, fabric scraps, paper scraps, and I also have some flowers and other elements for later. So now I'm going to use my image to start measuring where I want to make my composition, closer to the right or closer to the left or in the middle. I guess we can go here. So I'm going to start with some basic elements like lines to make my design visible. So this one is very old, okay, very old, maybe two years old, Apricot Honey collection. So I'm going to show you the pad in a moment again. Apricot Honey. I'm starting with things like washi tapes, fabric tapes. They're all great for that purpose. I also have, you know, because scrapbooking, I've got some mesh tape. So, because it's supposed to be playful, we're going to do playful. Mesh tape is going to stick for some time, so this is quite cool. It's not perfect sticking, but just enough for keeping that in place at the very beginning. It's really nice texture. You can buy mesh tape in the DIY shops. They usually use it for fixing the walls. So, you know, nothing too fancy, and you can get a lot. Yeah, it's very good paper. This is background. I wanted this playful, you know, like cupcake and frosting color palette. So I think this is just right. Okay, next layer. Next layer, I've got some fabric trim. So let's get some pieces of the fabric trim. You never know what you may find on your table. I found this. And for gluing, you can use any kind of thicker gel medium. For example, 3D matte gel is a good solution here. It's going to be holding that in place quite nicely. Oh, I have too much as always. So let's add some extra layers and textures. I'm just trying to make that composition look a little bit stretched from one side to the other. So I'm not only focusing on using paper, I want to have a bit of fabric, a bit of chipboard. So later, after painting, all these textures are going to give different results. It's probably my cat hair as well. Perfect spot for more of the mesh tape. Now I'm measuring again where the girl is going to go, somewhere here. Let's take one more to go a little bit more down. What else we can add at this point? I've got some lace, so we can add some lace as well. It's going to add more girly vibe to it. You can overlap. You can play with simply adding the texture in the place where you think something is missing. Let's see, how long is that image? Quite long. So maybe a bit more of the lace of different kind. In general, it's all about making this fun, quite textured look, but without taking that too seriously, of course. So you can see it's already happening. This is the last moment to make everything straight. If you are annoyed by some things which are not too straight, make sure they are right before the gel is going to dry. Okay, so now let's work on some extra layers. I really like this old tag, so I'm going to use it in... Oh, there's even a little safety pin. Perfect. It's going to be useful for sure. So I start building layers. I've got more of the fun things here. So for example, bits of chipboard as well. They're going to add nice texture. And I try to make it in balance. So let's put it in 3 different places. This one looks a bit like a chicken wire. And the chicken wire goes here. I would like to add more tags as well, but that means I will need maybe a piece of thread. to go with that. Let's see if we can use this one. It's quite cool anyway. Come on, don't be shy. It's not the way you're supposed to attach the thread, but it's okay to do a little bit of cheating, I think. Okay, the image goes like this. We can go like this or like this. Yeah. So you can probably already see why it is not so important to be perfect with your first steps, because very soon they're gone. We are covering them with layers and you don't really see that much anyway. Let's add one more. Well, it's scrapbooking, so we are using scraps, right? So this is part of the package. Okay, so we have a structure like this. Now we can fill that a little bit more, adding some fun pieces of paper. This is something I just had on my table. I think I got it somewhere during my classes. One of my students gave me this super cute tape and I absolutely love using it. This is just paper panchinella, I think. But the texture is just beautiful. Okay, the background is there. Now we can start adding bigger elements such as flowers and larger embellishments. Let's see what I can get on my table. Thank you, Gabby. This is very, very fun to work like that. I've got flowers, but I also have resins of different kinds. We're going for playful, so I'm going to add some unexpected things for sure. We can add a bit swirl, which is going to make like a branch. And a large flower to go with that. And then combine that with the paper flowers as well. And I've got this piece of lace, but I think it's too late for that. Shame. Okay. I can see quite a lot of fun elements in here. I'll keep that nearby so I can always take more. I've got some resins. These are made with Prima Moulds. This is quite nice, but it's very long. I have to think how to use that. I really like using elements which are broken as well, so that is not a big problem for me, as you can see, because you can always hide that under some layers. I will look for some leaves. There's supposed to be some leaves here. Yeah, these are large. I would prefer something long instead. This is the set I was thinking about. Unfortunately, I only have one element, but I like the other ones as well. So let's start. Yeah, I love Prima molds as well. So now, first elements with the heavy stuff such as molds, then we're going to add smaller bits and smaller bits. If you feel that you're going to use heavy elements, it may be easier for you to switch something which is thicker, such as heavy body gel, because it's going to hold everything in place. And 3D gel is also a good solution, but this one dries faster. So for the purpose of today's live stream, it's much easier, I think, to use heavy body. So now, if you don't know how to use elements, it's always a good tip to repeat similar things 2 or 3 times. So it's going to be in a nice balance. For example, if you would like to add a bit of mechanical element, you can repeat that element 3 times, and this way you're going to create some kind of rhythm. So let's look at the rhythm of the circles, for example. The rhythm of the cogs. That sounds like a good title for the song. That would be nice. And that is going to be a good start for our composition with flowers, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Now let's think about flowers, where we can add a flower to make it look really nice together with the image. I would say here, that would be 1. Then again, we can do 2 and 3 for good measure. I've got a rose as well. Let's go the opposite way. Now the swirl. You can cut it into pieces if you want to. It's just a matter of getting the right sharp scissors. Just be careful because the edges may be sharp. Oh, that's going to be good composition. So we have a nice line to follow. let's start with that, and then we fill that with the smaller bits and pieces. You don't really have to worry about the leftovers of the gel, because we are going to paint it with white gesso on some point. So if that is in a way stopping you from going fast and furious, just remember this is going to dry completely transparent. It's good to measure with your image to see how much of the element you're going to see in the end, because sometimes you are struggling, you're trying to make everything perfect, and then you just learn nobody can see that anyway. I think I'm going to multi-layer this one. 2 flowers, one on the top of another. I think I'm already on the point of losing the chipboard on one side, but I can always add more. Now, filling the gaps with nice little bits and pieces. Let's see what I can find on my table. I can put a cog in here. I think I need something in that part as well. And more of the leaves. This is nice balance of the leaves now. Okay, what have I got? It's like a huge clasp I never used in my project, and I wanted to do it. I've got a lot of the little buttons, and I've got some rusty bits and pieces which are beautiful. And this is like the leftovers from the previous project, so you never know what may be inside. It's a light bulb here, okay. And that seems to be good element for the celebration. Let's see. Now looking for the perfect spot. That seems to be the one. This box is only one of many in this house. So if you are a hoarder like me, you will have plenty of this kind of containers with the surprises. Yeah, I'm trying to pull it in the position where you will be able to see that this is in fact a light bulb. This is too large, unfortunately. This one seems to be not what I'm looking for. Let's have a look at other elements. Straw. On every party there's supposed to be drinking straw, so we can add these as well. Now something on the top. Piece of fabric, maybe the flowers. These are some older Prima trims. Again, something from like 5 or 6 years ago. But they are cute. And I still have leftovers, so why not adding them to the project? Because we are really going for playful and optimistic. Well, as you can see, I'm for sure the messy desk team, so not so long ago I even took a photo for my patrons to show how messy my table is after I finished live stream, and that was just hilarious. So if you think you can just change your habits easily, this is not so easy. I found this. I'm not sure what I had kept it for, but now it's going to be part of my project. I think I had another design of the trim. Or maybe I'm wrong. I'm running out of space, which means I am supposed to move on. I also have measuring tape. Maybe next time. And nails. I have nails. Okay, maybe next time. So now we switch to the really small bits and pieces, and because we have this round elements, I can feel that we can go for pebbles. And pebbles are really cute. Oh, look at that. Very old Prima embellishments. And I took them out because of the color. And I feel that may be a really good idea for later. Pebbles. I didn't forget about the scraps of paper. I'm just going to add them later, because otherwise they will get painted. Now I need to work on adding the pieces of chicken wire back in place so you can see it. Cute. Now, pebbles. Pebbles. Let's start with the large pebbles. Pebbles. Sorry. Trying to keep things in place, but not easy. Looking for the medium-sized ones, but probably the large ones in this container. Yeah. So let's add the pebble in here somewhere. Too big. They usually like to be in groups, so it's nice to give them some company. Making that a little bit more flat to make sure I can see everything I want to see. So a bit more of the pebbles, and I will clean up around them in a moment with a brush, and then we can dry and start painting the project. Isn't that fun? I think we all have these perfect places and then we can't find anything in the end. So it's kind of fair, I guess. It happens to all of us. So now cleaning brush, a bit of water. You can do a bit of a cleanup. So I pick up the really big lumps of the gel. This part is a little bit annoying, but I'm going to cover that with something later. Now, let's focus on drying and then working on the colors. I really want to follow the colors of the backgrounds. I'm going to work with very pale shades of pink and a bit of gold in it, and I'm really tempted to add rusty accents as well. So first the heat gun. Yeah, the dimension with the pebbles is just unbelievable. Good thing about heat gun and the heavy body gel, it is really drying quickly, so you can work on your project in very good timing, so you don't have to worry about leaving that to dry naturally for a long time. So with the heat gun you can start quite early. I'm not putting these rusty things away yet because they really catch my eye, and I think that maybe I will be able to add something to my project as well. So we will see. It's good to check with your fingers from time to time to see how it is going. It's good to push elements down. Now, white gesso, it's going to remove the color we don't really want in the darker parts, and it's going to be a good primer as well. So I just cleared gesso, sorry, took the wrong jar. White gesso. Yes, in Rust we trust. I absolutely agree. It's a perfect thing to add. I'm going to cover just parts of the embellishments, the ones that are metal or the parts which are plastic. I will try to avoid the pebbles a little bit because they're quite nice as when they are clear, and it's okay to put a bit of the gesso on the background as well, because that is going to add a little bit different touch to it. If you feel that you painted something you don't want to have painted, you know, baby wipes help. I'm trying to mostly get rid of the dark brown color of the embellishments. And this is not a big problem because you can always add waxes or paints on the top later, but without the primer they don't want to stick that well. So starting with gesso is always a good idea. You can also add gesso on your fabric background elements. It's going to change the way they absorb the paint. I don't want to paint the light bulb. It's really pretty pink, so good color. And I would love to add a little bit of texture, so I'm going to get art stones, mini art stones. They are really white and matte, so they're perfect for adding extra textures to the projects. I could add the pebbles later, that would be easier for me, but I didn't think about it, so now I have to be careful when painting. Baby wipes are one of the most important things on my table. They're so useful. So that changed a little bit. It's not pretty, but it's not supposed to be pretty at this stage of work. Oops. Mini art stones now. I think, yes, I absolutely agree with Kasia. Whoever invented baby wipes, they should get a special Nobel Prize for this. It is one of the most important things that you may have for every purpose. Okay, so I'll go back to the matte soft gel. This is the one we used for gluing the paper on the top. And now we can use it for gluing our art stones. And I'm going to put them in the places that I believe are not too pretty, or they will use a bit of texture to make it look more nice. So I'm just casually dabbing the soft gel in those places. And you don't have to paint them with anything because they're white anyway, so that's a good solution. Oops, too much. Now, sprinkling the art stones, just the way you sprinkle the embossing powder. They stick really nicely. Now you have to tap off the excess, and you have to brush off the excess if it's too much in some parts. So you can go over the bin and take a brush to do so. They're very addictive, so once you have them on your project, it's really hard to stop yourself from repeating that on many projects in the future. So I just gave you a warning that it may be hard to not use them. I had a little bit of the detox myself, but looks like they're coming back in the full swing. Okay, maybe removing from here. Maybe a bit from here. Nice. Again, drying. Art stones are one of the best things that I found for our mixed media line. I absolutely love the results with them. And now I'm looking for the right colors. Huh. Almost there. So when it comes to colors, you can use either metallic paints or you can use liquid acrylic paints. They're both going to work. And for highlights, it's really nice to have more of the white gesso or the white pearl paint, which is going to add more of the contrast to everything. So this is very nice technique where you are going to splatter some colors and then clean it up a little bit with the white. So it's going to be easier to control. So maybe I think it's a good idea to start with some casual tea stain splatters. There's a bit of that color in the background already in the paper, so I'm going to take that. You can imitate the color of the tea stain splatters from burnt sienna mixed with water, and that is one of the easy ways. Or you can go hardcore like me usually, and you can just use your tea bag, which is also very good. It's hard to tell the difference later, but just in case, this is how you do it. Yeah, more or less. So these are the casual splatters. You can make them darker if you make your tea infusion stronger, or if you're going to use the paint imitation. So that is another way. Now let's mix that with water. You can see that it looks like a very, very dark tea stain. So I can make it darker in some parts. So we're adding that vintage touch to it as well. Just to start with something. Hello, hello. And now drying a little bit. I think our next color is going to be this one. It's called Spring Blossom, and that is the color that is going to be very similar to our background color, so it's perfect and we can go with that easily. The second option will be Nude from Liquid Acrylics, also very similar to the background color. This one has a bit of shimmer, so it is more fun for this celebration mode project. Water, a lot of water. Tea stain. I put it here for drying, and I take the apricot color. And in the meantime, I can start looking at the apricot. It's just perfect. I'm not sure if you can see it, so I will put a little bit more up. This is here. So the apricot goes mostly on the flowers, all that parts that need extra color because they're too dark and we don't like it. If you're not sure how to start, think about triangles. So you can make it like a triangle, 1, 2, and then let's say 3. Again, if you want to make it flow, add some water. Oh, the spray is almost empty. And to make it a little bit more fun, you can add more contrasting color as well. So, for example, if it is all about this, let's say, peach, you can go into a darker tone of pink. This is Plum Preserve, no, sorry, Romance Pink. And you can break it a little bit in some parts, adding a bit of that color as well. So this is not going to be just one tone. Everywhere. Sorry. Now casually dabbing the color on the top of that. Nice. Again, a bit of water to make it flow, and drying. Yes, Romantic Pink is really nice color. And of course we can add more drama, adding more brown in a moment. Now I want to dry completely because I want to add highlights with white. White Pearl is another metallic paint, but I don't want it to blend in. I want to go on the top. That's why it has to be all perfectly dry, so the paints are permanent. I'm adding a little bit of brown in some parts for more shadow and drama, but not too much yet. You can see how this is all going to look like. Now, to get some cleanup and highlights, you can use White Pearl. This is white metallic, and you can dry brush that on the edges to make sure all of the embellishments are popping nicely and they're really visible. It's good to have a bit of that in your stash because it's good for every project, honestly. So you can just start with a bit of the pearl and add those highlights wherever you feel your details are a little bit lost. You can do that with White Pearl wax as well, but once we're using paints, I can use paints. So this is just like making everything a little bit cleaner and crispier. And making sure the details are nicely visible. Especially if you have some swirls that are not too pretty, or when you have the edges of the leaves which are still too dark, or if you'd like to make the pebbles look more like pearls instead of the clear glass look. This is a nice thing to do. I will just show you in a moment a close-up. For example, on the petals or on the swirls. So after that, I'm going to make it more grungy and rusty. and it's going to get really ready. The more layers of the white pearl you are putting, the more clean and white, of course, the effect it is going to be. So it's really up to you how white you would like that to be. Now, let's add some rusty tones to this. First of all, more of the brown. And you can see on the white pearl, this is going to sit a little bit differently now. And I'm going to take just a tiny bit of the rust paste as well. First, water. And more of that brown in the background. And rust. Red rust. Blue. Brown rust. Brown, yellow, red. There's no red. I can't believe it. Of course there is red. This color is going to be nice rusty touch. So because we have some mechanical elements in here, oh, this is the dry one, I have to revive it first. This is the wet one. Water. Red rust and brown rust, they're always drying a little bit darker. So if you feel that something is not dark enough at the very beginning, don't worry. It's going to get darker later. Let's dry and see what we need. It's really lovely combination of colors. So if you're not fans of the rust and you are more into shabby, delicate style, I would really recommend combining rust with pink first. And that is a safe way of introducing the rusty touches to your projects if you're a little bit afraid. Okay, so now looking at the details, it looks really good. Or maybe a little bit closer. Now, what I think we need is a little bit more of the pink color. So I'm going to come back to the pink blossom and add a little bit more of that in selected places to make sure it is really visible. And we need a bit of contrast, and that contrast is going to come now. Oh, come on, don't die on me now, sprayer. First of all, what you can see on the image here, there is this glittery effect with a bit of green. I have similar effect here on my background because of the Pixie paste. But now I'm going to take that paste and I'm going to add it in several places around the photo as well. So this is going to add a bit of that green highlight, especially on the flowers. It's celebration, it is fun, so we can introduce that as well. This glittery effect is going to marry it all together quite nicely. As you can see, there are bigger chunks if you want more dramatic effects, or if you prefer to have it more clean, you can pick up the smaller bits and pieces. Let's dry, and then we can add a little bit more and see. There's a lot of drying now, but basically every layer, it's adding something new. Yes, these green and pink chunky flakes are absolutely perfect for that. After drying, this gel with the chunks of glitter is going to be completely transparent. So this is another extra thing to make that look absolutely amazing and sparkly. So at the very beginning, it feels a bit white, but later you don't really see any of that gel. So that is a really good thing. So let's play with that. And my second secret weapon here, it's like adding unicorn touch on the top of the rust, like wow. My second secret weapon here is going to be a tiny bit of the Jade stone paint. And this Jade stone is going to add this green sparkle. And this Jade stone is kind of corresponding with what we had before. So I want to add it as a little splatter. So just look at that, so glittery and pretty. Now we need to think about some text. Like dream big. Cherished. They're very large. I need to find something smaller. Glorious. Glorious sounds good, but I don't like the shape of it. So if we can put it in here and then add this glorious, but I will just cut it a little bit more, then I think it's going to be perfect. Okay, so this is drying and I'm cutting the glorious text. going, keep going. I made the bubble. Okay, let's see if I like it or not. If I don't like it, I will find another text later because that is not going to be the perfect one. It looks like candy. All of that looks like candy. I'm not 100% sure if I like it, but it's okay. I will double check later with the better text, maybe. Now, adding a bit of brown color to this one as well. So this is not going to be too clean comparing to the rest of the project. And after drying, it's all going to look great and shiny and sparkly. And I've got even sugar pebbles that can go with that as well. So now, a bit of green paint. I'll take away the image so it's not going to get splattered by accident. Not enough tools, as always. If you want to get tiny, cute splatters, you need to have quite watery paint, and it's easier when you hit the brush with something which is hard, like another brush or scissors. Just another trick. If you're afraid of splatters, this is perfect solution for you. Let me dry. Oh yes, oh yes. Sugar pebbles are going to be perfect finishing touch. I have to finish because I keep adding, and this is one of the things that I do because I enjoy building projects so much. So I have to stop myself from time to time. Let's see. Okay, this one is not visible. But this one is, so I need one more here. Come on. Don't go away. Heavy body gel. So now, sticking that just in the right position. So here. And for making that a little bit more even, I'm putting a bit of cardboard. I know this is not pretty, but it's going to hold it in the right place. And the last thing we need to do is to add the text. But first of all, I need to find the right one. So we have playfulness, celebration. You can see the green tones in it as well. We've got those shiny elements, super cute, and at the same time a little bit grungy. So everything that I like, really. Grungy and a bit of surprise. And just to remind you which colors we used, mostly that was Metallique Spring Blossom, white pearl for highlights. Then we used a little bit of the Romance Pink for adding a tiny bit of the contrast. And then there was burnt sienna to add those brown stains from liquid acrylics, and a bit of the rust paste to create natural red rust effect. So these were the products which were the main colors. Then for a bit of contrast in this green, I used Jade Stone paint, and for sparkle there was Pixie effect paste, which is pink and green glitter, so that was just perfect. I will try to show you the details a bit closer, but I promised I will take photos and post on my social media over the weekend. So once it is dry, so there will be no white spots, and you will be able to see all of that shiny, sugar coated, glittery celebration yumminess. And I will also try to show you that from different angle. I hope those of my patrons who were saying that there is not enough pastel, hopefully this is pastel now. Hello everybody. I need to find the right text, but here we go. Sorry. Very much celebration inspired project, and we have a lot of shiny effects, and we have a lot of scrapbooking techniques, and I think it is just moving because it is not dry. So I have to put her back in the right position. And I hope you enjoy that. This is a mixed media inspired scrapbooking panel. And we were using products from Prima Marketing, mostly from my collection, but also Apricot. Apricot what? Apricot. I keep forgetting the name. Honey. Apricot Honey Paper as a background. Apricot Honey. So I hope that was fun. And remember, you can paint your own backgrounds if you don't have the right paper, just by splattering paint or pouring paint. It's really fun and it's absolutely worth it. So, well, pastel and grungy in one, and very much good for the celebration. So I hope that was fun, and I promise to take a photo of that and post very quickly, hopefully tomorrow with the daylight, on my Instagram, Finnabair, and you're going to find it. Thank you very much. I need to dry it carefully now because it's half wet. Once it is dry, it's safe to touch. Super sparkly, really like cake with a lot of icing and a lot of glitter. So happy celebration, happy scrapbooking days. And don't forget about all the activities that Prima prepared for you, all the challenges, all the games. You can participate in that and learn and take part in challenges. So check that out. Thank you. Bye.